Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, man. Honestly, man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Just really, really excited for this one. I know the last one, you were super excited for that one.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this one. I guess this kind of shows our differences.
Absolutely.
but nah, this is one of them ones, man. I've been wanting to do this one for a minute, so really excited about doing this pod that we got today. But how about you though, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm actually excited as well, man. Like you said, we supposed to do this a long time ago. I think this has been on the list at least like 3 or 4 times. And it always end up getting like changed or moved. So we finally here. But yeah, everything is great except for like it starts snowing again. But outside of that, like everything is good. So I gotta get prepared for that. But normal Ohio weather. So
yeah, man. Just don't be out there like my man. I sent you that
video. What's crazy is I told you, I said, bro, that's gonna be me, bro. And I seen it start snowing. I'm like, I spoke too soon, man. Spoke way too soon. But man, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have we got a great episode for you. Like excuse me, like we told you last episode, in the coming soon, man. We are covering a classic movie. You know what I'm saying? This is written and I believe it's written and directed.
Yes.
Yeah, by Quentin Tarantino. He's actually in the movie. You know what I'm saying, with a nice little cameo. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what this movie is about. I don't even know how to describe this movie.
I'm glad you brought it up. I'll take the reign. The reign.
Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the only thing that I can compare this to is I was thinking about this when I was driving home today. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm so pod oriented. So I'm riding and I'm thinking about how to even explain this shit. And so you know how the show Seinfeld, the whole thing about it is called a show about nothing, right? You know, Wale did the album where he was just saying like an album about nothing. He did the whole little Seinfeld thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's really what this movie is. It's a movie about nothing. It's a lot of just dialogue, motherfuckers talking, but the shit is so intriguing. But there's 3 storylines to the movie. But
Mm-hmm.
they got the story so all over the place, and I think that's what makes this movie classic status is how you got 3 storylines and you keep interchanging them, and they're different timelines within 2 days. Within 2 days. So basically, you got.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with one thing. The story is not all over the place. We'll get to that we'll get to
that. I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like for instance, there's a scene that's probably about I don't know an hour 45 within the movie, right? Where you see Vincent get killed, and then but the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes, and the movie ends with you seeing Vincent and Jules walking off. So that's what I mean by the storyline is it's not a flat, straight storyline. Right. Like it jumps around.
Right.
And like there are scenes where you see how they ended up being in the, you know what I'm saying, Quentin Tarantino's clothes that they got from his house, but then it'll go back and show you when they're back in their suits again. So it's all over the place is what I mean. Like, because it's just not a flat out straight story.
Right.
But like the 3 storylines is you got the storyline of the 2 hitmen, which is Jules and Vincent, about day, how things went with them, how they had to go get the suitcase for Marcellus and all this type stuff. Then you got the storyline where Vincent is taking, Mia out because Marcellus asked him to take her out or whatever. That I guess to get her out the house or whatever the case may be. So they got their storyline, and then you got Butch's storyline, the whole storyline about how Butch was supposed to throw this fight for Marcellus, but he chooses not to throw the fight for Marcellus, and so he tries to get the money and run, but it gives you that whole storyline of him. And one of the things that's so Quentin Tarantino is the whole story about the watch. Now, it's genius because it explains to you why it meant so much for Butch to go back to his house to go get that watch when the old girl forgot the watch. But all of the details that he put in there, and this is a guy that's just his dad's friend. It's not his dad. It's just they got my man remembered the story so well about how all of these other people did all of this shit when they was in war, and how he had to hide the watch in his ass for 2 days, and his dad had to hide the watch in his ass for 5 days. So the watch had been in somebody's ass for 7 days for my man to get the watch. It's like that's so Quentin Tarantino, man. It's like, dude, we did not need that shit.
But you know what though? So what's crazy is we really did though.
I mean, we did because I think that shows his personality.
Nah, and I'm gonna tell you why I think we did. I think the reason we really needed the story on the watch is to understand not only why the watch was so important, but him going back to get the watch sets off a whole different chain of events.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about the details. I was like, we really didn't need to know.
Like, no, that part was crazy. That part was crazy. But like the fact that he, like you said, he, you know what I'm saying, remembered all of these details, and he's telling him why this watch is so important, and he gets this watch. He understands, like, I think for him, because remember, like, he's a boxer, so you know what I'm saying, he understands the fight and the struggle and having to, you know what I'm saying, earn things and the whole thing of war, you know what I'm saying, like that they connect with boxing. I think he understood like the reason his dad had to do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's what made the watch so important to him. Not only is this something that's left of his father, but the, you know what I'm saying, like the struggle his dad had to go through and dude had to go through to keep this watch. You know what I'm saying? So like this watch is more than just it's more like a symbol of surviving in a way. And technically, like that's what Butch is. Butch is the survivor of this movie. And so with everything that he ends up doing, and then how everything ends up playing out, like the watch is very symbolic of everything in that whole scene. That whole stretch, that watch is real symbolic of that. Because if you think about it, right, like you said, Marcellus told him to throw the fight. He didn't throw the fight. Instead, he basically fucked all the bookies over in the city. He was on the escape. He was almost on his way out. She didn't get the watch. He had to go back and get the watch. In the midst of going back to getting the watch, he sees Marcellus. But before that, he killed Vincent because he was supposed to get killed. Kills Vincent. Then he leaves. Marcellus just so happened to walk across the street. He runs Marcellus over, gets hit by a car. They both get up. He runs to a fucking pawn shop with Creepy Man and Creepy Man 2.0 and again, and ends up earning his freedom. You know what I'm saying? In a technically in a similar way to what the watch had to go through. So that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. The story of the watch is really necessary. If you really break down that scene, the story of the watch is very necessary if you know what happens in that scene.
I mean, this is very true. And then, like I say, it's more than just his dad's watch. It's his great grandfather's watch. Yeah, I think it's great grandfather's watch. No, great. I think just one great. The great grandfather bought it, and then he fought in the First War. Then the grandfather fought in World War I, and then his father fought in World War II, but he sent the watch back. The whole. Well, no, that was the one where the one trusted this Japanese person to get the watch to his dad, which was an infant at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's so yeah, like the watch. If it wasn't no, I'm not saying the story. I was talking about like I get why they put the details in there. That just
Yeah.
shows how genius fucking
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Tarantino is because knowing that story and all of the shit about it being in somebody's ass for a total of 7 days and all that type shit. So I think they just really add the significance of it where it
Yeah.
says no matter what, like he said when he was in the car, and this there's so many men who went through this. When he was in that car, said,
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I don't give a fuck what you get. Do not forget the watch. That's the
Man.
one thing I said to get is the
Yeah.
watch. And you don't get the watch. And what pissed me off about it is when he was like, did you get the watch? And she was like, I'm not sure or something. And he was like, it's either you got it or you didn't. Like, did you get it? She said yes. And then he asked her something else, and she was like, I don't
No.
know or something. It was some shit. And he was like, yo, boy, this bitch. But I'm telling you. But anyway, that whole scene, dude, that whole Butch storyline is crazy as fuck because
Yeah.
for Weirdo 1.1 and 1.2, whatever you call them motherfuckers, that was just,
Weirdo in the GIMP.
that was some sick shit. Like,
Man, Dick don't describe it, bro. Like, never mind. Go ahead. Because,
yo,
bro, like you, nigga, you are this nigga is the kingpin out there, and I just ain't no way, bro.
yo, that's
Ain't no
some,
way.
that's some, that's some wild shit. I mean, you hear about shit like that,
Yeah.
but for someone to put that shit in a movie, you know what I'm saying? A movie that, you know what I'm saying, came out in 1994,
1994.
like to put that in there because you hear about this shit of like, people wanting to fuck, you know, big black man or powerful big black man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's people who want to watch. Cause my man was just standing there watching, just enjoying the shit. Like, you know what I mean? And like you said, for Bush to be the lone survivor in this whole thing, and for Marcellus, you know, for him now, the thing is, he could have left Marcellus down there. It was like, fuck this shit.
Definitely left
You know what I'm
Marcellus
saying?
down.
I got out. So, but for him to go back, because I think what he wanted was, I think that he knew that if Marcellus left there alive, he was not
Oh
done
my
with them.
goodness. No, it was over with. He was gonna hunt all them down.
Yes, he was hunting everybody down.
Yeah.
And so it was really a smart decision to go down there and save him and let him, be the person to, what I'm saying, to get whatever he did to my dude down there. All I know, my man got his dick shot off. You know what I'm saying? Now they didn't show the shit,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. He got his dick shot off, and Marcellus
Definitely got
handled the
killed.
rest.
Now, my only beef with that scene, outside of the obvious, that nigga he sliced dude across the chest. Dude, he just automatically died, bro. Like that's not how
no. Remember, he did the whole little, and he stabbed
yeah.
him. Yeah.
But that's not how you die, bro, from a sword. That's all I'm saying. That's not how you die from a sword attack. Like the stab in the stomach don't kill you like that. It's gonna take a minute for you to bleed out and die. That's why I was just sitting there. Like when I seen that shit, bro, I'm like, yes, this is a Quentin Tarantino movie for sure. Real quick though, the film came out in 1994. Stars John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, Harvey Keitel. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta go back. Harvey Keitel, Phil Lamar. Shout out to Phil Lamar, for being in this film. Ving Rhames, Frank Whaley, um, Rosanna Arquette. Is that one of the Arquette
Yeah,
kids?
yeah.
That's
She's
crazy.
the oldest. think.
That's crazy. Who else is Steve Buscemi is in this, man. Christopher Walken, my guy, he's in this. Um Kathy Griffin is in this. She does a cameo. Peter Green, speaking of the mask, you know what I'm saying? He plays Zed. Um and I think that's all of the names that's like known. And like I said, Quentin Tarantino was in this too. And then Alexis Arquette was the fourth man. Never mind. Okay. Uh
Yeah.
yeah,
One of
that's just
them. Yeah,
yeah,
one of them did the. Yeah,
yeah. So this was a pretty heavy cast. You know what I'm saying?
very.
For everything that was in this is definitely a heavy cast. And I think that's why this movie is as iconic as it is and as good as it was. Because so like you did a great breakdown of the movie. But for me, I was gonna say that this movie is truly just a story about um two hitmen going to pick up a package, right? That was technically being stolen at the time. They go pick up a package and it goes through the 48 hours of them going to do that. That's the only way I could break this down to where it would, for at least for me, where it would make sense to somebody. Like if I was to explain it to somebody, that's how I would explain it. Because technically, everything that they're doing is revolving around them picking up this suitcase.
Yeah,
And the reason I said that it's not technically all over the place, right, is because the way it starts off is it starts off with oh, what is the dude? Um
Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. Are you talking about how the movie originally starts?
no, you right. It was who?
Pumpkin and Honey Bunny.
So them two. I forgot what the dude's name is, but he been in a lot of shit too.
Tim Roth.
Yeah. So it's them, right? And then they end up robbing the store, and then it goes into Jules and Vincent. So you already left at a cliffhanger in the beginning of the movie.
Which is
Because
the end
what
of the movie.
right, that's what I'm saying. So once it gets into Jules and Vincent, right, you don't know what the fuck is going on with the you still thinking, well, what happened with the diner robbery? Like what's that? So you don't even know about that yet. So once it gets into Jules and Vincent, this is like the main story. Like this is the whole everything that's going on. And then it jumps to I think after that, that's when it jumps to Vincent taking Mia out, right?
No, this is when it jumps to Butch talking to Marcellus about throwing
That's
a
a
fight.
part of is that a part of the first part or is that a part of the
That's the
second?
part. That's the part of because you know how it said it did the whole little words before they went to the next scene. So
Because
after it left,
so the way I look at it is broken up into three parts for real, right?
yes,
And it
because
just
there's three storylines.
so okay, so it is three. All right, so it's Vincent and Jules, and then there's Vincent and Mia, and then it's
Yep.
Butch.
Yes.
Okay, and then that's in between the actual movie. So that's what I was saying. Like the next act would be Mia and Vincent, and then the
Yes.
next act after that will be Butch. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I say it's not technically everywhere because what it's doing is giving you the initial story with the first act. The second act is showing you what happens in the next 24 hours, and then the third act, the Butch act, shows you what happens. Um, well, technically, it all is actually in order for real.
See, but this is what. All right, so
It just start
just,
at different points.
yeah, and like the only thing to be clear, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But only thing I meant was so when it left Vincent
Right.
and Butch after they got the suitcase, like the very next act it showed Butch and Marcellus having a conversation. Now Vincent
That's the
Jules,
Tim and Mia act, right?
yes.
Okay.
So they walked in, but they had on those clothes
They had
that
different
they,
clothes on. Yeah.
yeah, because this was after they shot Marvin in the face, and they had
Yeah.
to go clean up.
And
So
we don't even know this happened.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's what I mean by all over the place. Like
See,
it's
that's
all intertwined. It all intertwines. But I'm just saying the storyline of the 48 hours
yeah.
is jumping all over the place.
Well,
So
see, that's
it's
what I'm saying.
but
Like,
they are explaining it.
yeah, like technically, I think is I wouldn't say all over the place. I would say that it's technically starting at different time points because it's if you watch it fully through, you understand what's going on. And basically, it's like okay, it's showing you this part, and then it's showing you why this ends up happening, or it shows you what happens, and then it shows you why it ends up happening. So, for instance, right in the one part, it showed you about they talk about are you taking Mia out, and they all laughing.
Yes.
But you the whole time you think like, what the fuck is wrong with Mia? Like, who is Mia? It's Marcella's wife, and then you end up realizing that ain't nothing wrong with her. She cool for real. You know what I'm saying? But you before you even get to that point, you hear the story about what happened to
Oh,
what is it?
what's the
Frank
guy's
Tony Rock
name?
or some shit like that,
I think, yeah, I think it was it Frank.
or Story Rock or something. Whoever the one dude is that got thrown
Yeah,
out the window.
got thrown out the window. Yeah,
Yeah, so you hear that story, and then you hear why, and then when you hear, oh, you taking me out, and then everybody laughing, you kind of understand, oh, because maybe she flirty, or maybe so you get this idea of her. Then they show you them going out, and you realize like, well, ain't nothing wrong with her. It's just a made up story. It's a rumor because that's technically not what happened. He actually threw him out the window, but that's not why he threw him out the window. So then it's like, okay, well, she cool or whatever. And then you see like she do got a little problem though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And then after that, it's when they walking in, they got different clothes on. And then it as later on in the story, you see why they end up having on different clothes. So I mean, I don't know. It's just the way that I watch it. I kind of it made sense to me because of the way that they, especially the way that they put it, but it was more so just the fact that it's like, all right, this happened, but let's explain and get to the point of why this happened, and then okay, now we're gonna get to the point to why this part happened. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of makes sense to me. But speaking to Mia, man, um, first and foremost, I gotta say this, and I noticed watching movies with John Travolta, as he's gotten older, he did a lot of paying homage to Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction. So I don't know if you've ever seen Be Cool. No, we did Be Cool, so you've seen Be Cool.
No, no, we didn't do Be Cool.
We talked
We
about
just talked about it.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
multiple
So
times.
have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. So in Be Cool, they're paying homage to Quentin Tarantino. First and foremost, because it's Uma Thurman, it's Harvey Keitel, and it's John Travolta, and they all work together in this film, and or they all work together in Pulp Fiction, and Be Cool. You know what I'm saying? Harvey Keitel and John Travolta got like a little beef going on because they're part of two different record labels, and well, no, John Travolta was a part of the record label. He was getting out, and Harvey Keitel was still a part of a record label. And you know what I'm saying? Like they got a little beef going on about the singer or whatever. But Uma Thurman is the head of another record label, and John Travolta goes to her, blah blah blah. But in the movie, they do like, you know, they do a dance scene, which is paying homage to Pulp Fiction when, you know what I'm saying, Mia and Vincent were dancing. And then I don't know if you ever seen what is it? Good Night Paris or something Paris with him and Reese oh, what is that dude's name? Reese something. But it's the movie where John Travolta is like this like wild gunslinger, and he go to Paris to try to cover up, I mean to try to stop this.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And the Reese dude,
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
it's
talking about.
something Paris like Goodnight Paris or Long Kiss to Paris or something like that. But the Reese dude is like this he like unaware motherfucker that's messing with this girl who ends up being a part of the terrorist organization. Well, in that at the end of that movie, he hands Reese the Reese character, he hands him a cheeseburger, and he like, yeah, it's a Royale with cheese. Cause he was like, you know what they call these here? He was like, what? He was like, it's a Royale with cheese. He was like, yeah, he's like, we call them quarter pounders. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so through a lot of the John Travolta movies, like he's been paying homage to Quentin Tarantino, you know what I'm saying, throughout his career. Those are just two examples, but it's a lot more if you like just go and check out a lot of his movies. And then we got to talk about this, right? We got to talk
Hold
about
on.
the
Before you move off him,
yeah.
there's a reason why he pays so much homage to Quentin Tarantino is because of what Quentin Tarantino did for him in 1994. Well, if you
Yeah,
think about it, technically 92, 93.
right.
So I listened to Quentin Tarantino when he was on Joe Rogan, and he
Hmm.
was talking about Pulp Fiction and Harvey Weinstein and all this type of shit.
Okay.
And so he's like, when Harvey approved it and everything, the script and all that type of shit, and he was like, yo, he's like, I want John Travolta. He was like, why? He's like, I don't want him. And Quentin's like, well, I'm not doing this movie without him. He was
Mhm.
like, man, why would you want to do a movie with a guy that did, Look Who's Talking? Because, like, at the time, John Travolta, it was like Grease, Saturday Night Live, and a bunch of just shit, the way
Yeah.
people looked at it. Like, the people looked at it like, oh, well, he's turning to be a failed actor. Like,
Mhm.
he was like one of those dudes who was really cool when he was young, and then, like his career kind of
Yeah.
fell off a little bit. So when he was saying that he wanted John Travolta to play the Vincent character, Harvey wasn't going for it.
Mhm.
And so he was like, I'll take the script somewhere else because I'm not doing it without him. He was like, I
Right.
want John Travolta. So he went for bat for this dude when
Mhm.
nobody was really believing in him anymore. Because they were
Mhm.
just looking at him like, oh well, yeah, he did Saturday Night Live, he did, Grease, but he's done in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so putting him in this movie to play Vincent, this like re-jump start his career.
Absolutely. Because he did Face Off after this, right?
It was soon after.
Yeah.
It was soon after. It
Yeah.
wasn't too long. But like, yeah, people was looking at him as a what I'm saying, a disappointment.
Mhm.
So Face Off came out in '97. So he did a few movies after Pulp Fiction. White Man's Burden, Get Shorty, Broken
He's
Arrow,
40 was good.
Phenomenon, Michaels, She's So Lonely, and then
Michael was
Face
good
Off.
too.
So
He
so
played the angel.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I get why he's paying him this
Absolutely.
amount because he's looking at it like, yo, if it wasn't for you sticking up for me in those meeting rooms, I don't, we don't know what John Travolta would have been. He would have just been a dude that was cool in the '70s and '80s, and you know what I'm saying, kind of fell off. So I can see why he's doing that.
Absolutely. So Mia and Vincent, right? The date that they go on. First off, it started off as a disaster. My man Vincent was shooting up heroin, bro. He was shooting up heroin, bro.
Before he went, dude, that is hilarious.
This nigga was a junkie hitman.
They just got back for Amsterdam.
Then let me tell you what was also crazy about that is the diner scene where they talking and he telling Jules, you choosing to be a bum. No, sir, you're the bum.
You the bum.
Heroin. Who the fuck are you to judge anybody about whatever life choice that they make? You're doing the hardest of the hard drugs.
Oh, but when we get to that timeline, we got to talk about that conversation that they was having.
Amazing. But no, like for real, bro. Like this nigga was judging him. I'm like, fam, the only way heroin works for you is if you are a jazz artist. Outside
Yo.
of that, outside of that, bro, heroin don't work for nobody but jazz artists. Like you have to learn how to play a brass instrument in order to do heroin.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And you had to be born in between like the 20s and the you know what I'm saying? Like you had to be alive during them times in order for that shit to work. And I ain't talking about like all the way through the 60s. I'm talking about like 63 is where it stops. Man, what the fuck? This nigga was doing heroin from Germany.
That's hilarious.
That shit is crazy, bro. So that's what I said. It already started off bad because he got high. He got high and went to go pick me up for not for the date, but for the night out because it technically wasn't a date.
Yeah.
Then she was like, "Fix yourself a drink." My man get him a glass of whiskey. He get to sipping on the whiskey. Now he drunk and high. No, that's not where it stops. Because Miz snorting cocaine. So I'm like, this is a shit show. Nothing is gonna go good here, bro.
Yeah.
So they both high as a kite. He drunk. They get to what was it? Slim Jim Rabbit. What was it called?
I don't remember.
When it Slim Jim Rabbits?
I don't remember what it was called.
So I think the restaurant was called Slim Jim Rabbits. Jack Rabbit Slims. There you go. Jack Rabbit Slims. I had that all fucked up. The name of the restaurant. Interesting fact that I found out about this restaurant because I looked this restaurant up because the restaurant is a dope ass thing. But it doesn't exist. That's not a real restaurant.
Like most restaurants that they put in movies is not real. Like that burger place they were talking about wasn't real.
I know the Big Kahuna Burger. Nobody's eating that Big Kahuna Burger, Hawaiian cheeseburger. Fuck out of here. Nobody's eating
At
that.
7 a.m.
Come on, bro. And even if you are eating a burger at 7 a.m., you ain't eating no fucking Hawaiian burger. So that I knew wasn't no real thing. I didn't even think twice about that. But Jack Rabbit Slims, though, I'm saying like the theme of it was dope as fuck, right? Because like all your waitresses and like people walking around dressed as characters of like old, you know what I'm saying, like 30s, 40s, and 50s movies. And not only that, you know what I'm saying, like it's like this whole retro, you know what I'm saying, like retro vintage like restaurant. And then like they getting in the back of like old school ass Chryslers and shit, like to eat at. It just seemed like a dope ass place to go check out. Well, I looked this shit up and realized that it's not real. They made this shit up. But the hype about this shit when after this film comes out, the hype about this shit is so much that after Disney buys Miramax, they were going to build the restaurant at which one is in Florida? Disney World?
Yeah, the Disney World, yeah.
They were going to build one at Disney World. They never went through with it though, I don't think, but they were going to build one at Disney World because of so much, you know what I'm saying, like so much hype was around it. And I was like, man, that would have been dope as fuck to go, you know what I'm saying, check something like that out. But I do think it's a restaurant with that same theme and shit. I think they stole that idea. But I just was looking at that motherfucker. I'm like, damn, that's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got motherfucking Ed Sullivan greeting motherfuckers at the door and shit. They got Marilyn Monroe. They had a nigga dressed like Zorro. It was so many different people from those times. I was like, man, that's pretty dope. But I understand now watching this why they won the what was it? The twist. They won the twist contest.
Yeah.
It was high as a kite. And what do most crackheads do? They dance.
Fucking God.
So yeah, it made sense. They, you know, they was at the table, they talked and shit, and they had their conversation and everything. And then it gets worse. They get to the part where they get back after the night out. She's wearing Vincent's coat. And because she's such a cokehead, she feels this lump in the coat, grabs this lump out of the coat, and it looks like a big ass bag of cocaine. What did she do? She don't ask no questions. She don't say, "Hey man, can I get a little bit of your score?" None of that shit. She instantly pops that bitch open and gets to snorting.
Now, right now, at the same time, Vincent is in the bathroom convincing himself that he cannot fuck this woman and that he's just gonna go out and say, "Hey, we had a good time. I'm gonna go home and go jack off."
Let me tell you something.
Now continue your story.
After hearing the story of him throwing a nigga out the window, throwing a nigga off the balcony into a greenhouse, and the nigga has a speech impediment now, there's no need to convince myself. I'm out of there. Look, I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm saying? Can I have my jacket back? It's time for me to go home. So, yeah, like you said, he in there convincing himself, which I don't understand why he's trying to convince himself.
Yes.
Meanwhile, she's face down in a pile of heroin. Once again, didn't ask no questions, don't know what this shit is. It could have been baby powder, it could have been anything. She just fuck it, it's white. Sniff that shit up. ODs. She ends up ODing. Now I know what a lot of people are thinking. Well, if she sniffed it, she should be used to it as cocaine. No, let me tell you something. Heroin is 20 times stronger than cocaine. And you can't sniff heroin.
Yeah, that's why they shoot it. That's why they cook it and shoot it up.
You can't smoke heroin. You have to chemically create in order to get your high. So imagine sniffing that's like sniffing Clorox powder. Once again, you cannot do heroin unless you are a jazz musician. Nobody knows the rules in this movie. Nobody knows the fucking rules. So he takes her back to the dude that he bought the shit from. And he like, "Yo, man, I need your help." This motherfucker like, "Man, if you don't get this cokehead bitch out of my house," he like, "Man, listen, nigga, this is Marcellus' wife. If she dies, I die. And if I die, you die." Basically, that's what he told him. Bro, this nigga goes to find this nigga had an adrenaline needle in the refrigerator,
which he's never used before. It had to read the directions on how to use it.
Bro, where did you get adrenaline from?
Hey man, when you're a drug dealer, man, you get your hands on anything.
Why do you have that just around? Like, what the fuck? So they hit her with the adrenaline, she wake up, save her life and all that shit. Everything is cool. But I did say this. I said that bitch is gonna have the shakes. She is gonna have the shakes.
Hey, but she gonna be going around like Smokey, boy, when he did the angel dust.
Worse. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Sherm don't do what that's about to do to her. Nigga, Ray Charles is doing heroin. Think about that. Them niggas is doing heroin. So you know what it did to them. And they're doing it the right way.
I kind of get why he was doing it. The way he explained that shit in the movie, yeah, man. You don't remember what Ray Charles said, man? You don't remember what he said? Yo, he said, "Do you know what it's like to wake up in the dark and you scared of the dark?" Come on, man.
This nigga was born in the dark.
No, he wasn't.
No, yes, he was.
Dude, you don't remember the movie?
Dark.
He didn't start going blind until his brother died.
You talk about, do you know what it is to wake up in the dark and be scared of the dark? Nigga, you should be used to this by now. You're a grown man. You've been blind since you was fucking 8.
Hey, man. Since he was 8. He was scared when he was 8. And he's still scared, man.
Let me tell you something, bro. You usually get scared of shit, but if you constantly around it, eventually you're gonna stop being scared of it. If you scared of dogs and a motherfucker bring a dog around you and you got to live with the dog, guess what? You and the dog eventually become best friends. So Ray Charles is not going to convince me that what other fucking choice do you have, sir? Everything is always going to be dark from now on. You know this. You still scared? First and foremost, nigga, how do you know when you sleep and you awake?
I'm sorry.
That's all I'm saying, bro. So you're not about to sit there talking about, you know, how it is to go to sleep. Motherfucker, how do you know when you sleep? What are you talking about? What the fuck is Ray Charles talking about, bro? That was the worst comeback ever, bro. Just tell it if a nigga tell you stop doing drugs and that's your comeback as a blind man, wrap it up, B.
Hey, I'm done.
Fuck,
this is a public service announcement.
Get the fuck on with that shit, man. He capping.
Yo, this guy, man. I can't, man. Look,
that's crazy.
But no, the Jews in the Vincent timeline, man. That shit is wild.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene, and really that whole conversation of, you know, the Royale and, you know, the whole trip and shit, and then just them having the conversation about, you know, would you let a man massage your feet? All this shit, right? So they get in there, and just the whole play of just
valid ass. That was a valid ass conversation, though.
No, it was. It was.
This conversation was valid as fuck because, nigga, like, would you just let a nigga rub your girl's feet?
I mean, I wouldn't like it. I mean, if it's not done in a
unprofessionally,
fucking,
of course, it's unprofessional.
Yeah, if it's not done in a nail salon, it's kind of like, yo, like, you know,
that's
like,
what I'm
why you rubbing my girl's feet, man? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
saying.
So like, Jules was tripping.
But you got the whole situation where they're talking. He doing the whole little burger shit, drunk all my man drank and all this like shit. Got my man talking, shoot the other dude while the dude talking, like, so all that shit. But they did not check to see if there was a dude in the bathroom. Dude come out the bathroom, bust by 8 shots. And we're talking people maybe 10 feet away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 men, at least. John Travolta and Sam, at least 6 foot.
Yeah, easily.
They're not small guys.
Right.
You shoot at least 8 shots 10 feet away from them and don't hit shit. So Jules is convinced that was an act of God. That was a miracle.
Yeah.
And Vincent like, nah, he's just a bad shot.
Freak accident, yeah.
Freak accident. So they're going. These dudes are having a conversation. Really, for the rest of the movie, when they're together, they're talking about this being, one is saying it's an act of God, and one saying it was just a freak accident. But in the midst of that, we can get back to that, because I do want to ask you, who do you think was more right? But for them to be going down the road, Marvin being in the back, they having their conversation. They try to get Marvin involved in the conversation. Vincent turns around with a gun in his hand, asks Marvin a question, and then the fucking gun goes off.
Oh my God. That shit was crazy.
Shoot Marvin. Blood go everywhere. And then that takes us to, I don't know what Quentin's name was in this shit. Now, Jimmy. Now, it's funny. And I do get what some people be saying, but I'm past it at this point. I really don't give a shit. But I'm just going to say it for the purposes of the movie and all this type of shit. So he goes over there, and there's 2 things that stood out to me that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is, and I think Quentin was trying to throw a message here. I'll see if you pick up on it. So Jules is washing his hand. They're talking. Jules is washing his hands and shit. And he was just talking about how, you know, man, this is real generous of him to do this for us. You know what I'm saying? We need to make sure, you know, we get this shit done quickly so we don't get him in trouble, because he's my guy and I really don't want to fuck this shit up. So he dries his hands off, And then Vincent go washes his hands. He gets the towel, and then the towel got blood. He's like, man, what the fuck you doing, motherfucker? And he was like, man, I washed my hands. He was like, man, I washed my hands the same way you did, man. Makes my towel look like a damn maxi pad. So he said, man, I used the same damn soap you did, man. He was like, what you doing? He's like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about.
He's talking about he should have lava. That shit don't work like that, man.
Hey, so then they go in there. He was like, damn, Jimmy, man, this coffee is great as fuck. He was like, man, I want to hear about how my coffee is great as fuck. He was like, my wife is going to be here at 9:30. And he was like, but this is what people be talking about. Look, it is what it is. Write what you want to write. The shit is amazing. But he was like, he said, do this look like a dead nigga storage? He was like, no. He said, well, you pull it up to my house. Did it say dead nigga storage in my garage? He's like, no. He's like, so why did you bring a dead nigga in my garage? Now, I get how some people say, yo, he's a little obsessive with it and all this type of shit. It is what it is, whatever.
You know what? So this is the thing, right? When it comes to movies, I don't really have the problem with it because, like, that's how they talk in that time. Like, that's how they was talking. Like, they wasn't scared to call you a nigga then. In 1994, they wasn't scared to call you no nigga, bro. Even in the pawn shop, he said that. He called him a nigga. He called Marcellus a nigga in the pawn shop.
Yeah. The creepy dude.
Yeah. But I noticed the Confederate flag hanging up too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was confused as to where the fuck they were, first off. I think they was in California.
They was in California.
I thought so. They definitely caught people niggas in California, for sure. In 1994, nigga, Mark Furman was on the fucking police. They was definitely calling black people niggas in California in 1994. For sure. For fucking sure, bro. Nigga, 2 years ago, they beat up Rodney King. Yeah, that's not shocking.
Mark Furman.
Yeah, Mark Furman was on the force, nigga. Yeah.
Hey, but that was when the tape came out, boy. Mark Furman was on that tape.
Come on, man.
Oh, man, that's
He
hilarious.
definitely said nigga for sure. He testified.
That is hilarious. Oh, shit.
I'm saying, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand what people saying, right? It's shocking to see a white man say it or whatever. Cool. But if it's accurate, I don't have a problem with it. That's just like when they were saying, like, they were saying nigga too many times in Django. Nigga, they didn't say nigga enough in Django. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you shocked that in a slave movie, white people calling black people niggas with the hard ER? That shouldn't be shocking to you, bro. We've learned enough about this in school. We know how this goes. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to watch Selma and hearing the white man go nigger and be like, oh, I can't believe he said that. No, that's what they did. Like, what are we shocked about?
Oh, man, that's too funny. And so then Jews called Marcellus. Marcellus sent the wolf to do the cleanup.
Yes, Harvey Keitel.
So then, then you start to figure out what type of person Vincent is. Vincent is not fucking Vincent. The heroine makes sense because the wolf comes to help y'all clean this shit up. Obviously, this man knows all about cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is after they did the whole thing of inspecting the car, and he's asking the right questions. Yo, do all the tail lights work? You know what I'm saying? Does this work? You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 all this type of stuff. Then they go into the kitchen, and then he was like, yo, y'all gonna need this. His wife comes home at 9:30, so we need to do this. He's like, y'all go, do that. And he's like, is it too hard for you to say please? The fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, yes, Vincent is a heroine out here. Like, this man is here to help.
That's some shit a crackhead would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we please wouldn't have like the
That
fuck.
motherfucker
You
goes
the
and
one,
I give you a
and
dollar.
then
Say please, motherfucker. I'm about to give you a dollar. That's what you with your life.
and then I don't know why the fuck Vincent is cleaning the window, and then it took Jules a minute to understand, like, why the fuck am I back here in the back seat cleaning this damn brain fragment? You the one shot him in the head. You get your ass back here in the back and clean this shit up. So, but with that being said, the whole conversation of miracle, act of God, or this was just a coincidence and my man can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
What side you
I'm with Vincent, man. It's I'm not gonna say act of God, right? Because first and foremost, it's a movie, so that could have been the whole premise. That way, Jules, that basically was the whole thing. Jules seen it, he realized that nigga, it's time to go ahead and end this shit because nigga, you could have died right there, right?
on?
But no, I'm with Vincent, bro. Dude was just a bad shot. Nigga had his eyes closed the whole time.
He was Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl.
You feel me? Like, hey, bro. Basically, yeah. Like, nigga just closed his eyes and just start squeezing the trigger. So I'm not shocked that he didn't hit nothing. You can't see shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he didn't shoot Marvin. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers is shooting. So yeah, nah, that was just it was a bad move. Um it was a nice like start to the conversation though. Cause my favorite part of the conversation is when they at the table. And you know what I'm saying? He basically telling Vincent, like, yo, man, I think, I'm gonna tell Marcellus that I'm out. And he like, what you mean you out? He like, yeah, this, after that miracle, like shit, niggas, I got shit to, you know what I'm saying, that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my money and I'm gonna just go travel and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go do some adventures and shit. And he like, yeah, he said they call that a bum. Nigga like, ain't no fucking bum, motherfucker. I'm gonna go and travel and do it. She said, yeah. He said, it's people that travel all the time. They don't have homes. He said, we call those motherfuckers bums. What you talking about? Like their whole back and forth, I think is what's so dope about the movie because really you can tell like they really fuck with each other with the conversations that they having, right? So when he was like, yeah, man, he was like, you didn't get no bacon? He was like, oh yeah, I don't eat pork. He was like, what? You don't eat pork? He was like, yeah, I don't eat nothing that comes from a filthy pig. He was like, man, yeah, but bacon is good. He was like, shit, pork is good. He was like, nah, man. He break down the shit. I'd rather eat a what he said. I'd rather eat a fucking rat or something than to eat a filthy pig. He was like something about a dog, and then he was like, okay, so basically he was like something about being dirty, and then he was like, yeah, he was like, I mean, but shit, dogs are dirty, so basically, technically, you would eat a dog. He was like, I eat anything except for no filthy motherfucking pig. Like they were just having a crazy ass conversation that like that's just shit that two dudes that hang out with each other, like you could tell like that's the type of conversations that dudes have. And it was like everything about them conversations seemed genuine. I wouldn't be surprised if those was improv conversations. I wouldn't
I
be surprised.
I wouldn't either. But what I also thought was interesting about their conversations was that they really always was on the opposite side of shit.
Every
And
time.
like so you see this dynamic of two guys who have their own belief systems and they're trying to convince each other
Mm-hmm.
on both on their side. So it's like they're both just sitting there hitting each other with convincing arguments, but they
Mm-hmm.
never are really on the same page, even though they work together
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like they're cool, but the way that they view life is just two separately different ways. Like they just
Absolutely.
don't see shit the same. Just like the whole shit of washing their hands. Like Jews wash his hands thoroughly. Vincent half washes his fucking hands.
Yeah.
So and it's like everything always turned into a discussion with them. Like I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
not an argument, but everything was always a discussion.
Right.
And that's why I think like the dialogue in this movie is so dope. Is because it's everyday conversation, like it's everyday shit. Like even though it's two hitmen and a boxer trying to throw a fight and all this drugs and all this type shit, but like mainly with the hitman storyline is that the dialogue that they have. Every time we see Jews and Vincent together, it's a fucking dialogue. And
Absolutely.
I I'm on the side of as far as like Vincent and Jules on the miracle or not a miracle. I'm on the not a miracle because I think he just had his eyes closed, like you said. He just
Yeah.
wasn't really paying, and you could tell that dude ain't. I ain't say he ain't never shot a gun.
That
I
motherfucker
don't
was.
think he never shot it at a human being before.
Yeah, he was nervous as shit.
Yeah, he just wasn't no killer. That's all
Mhm.
that is. And so he just had his eyes closed and just hope I hit something. So I don't think it was a miracle, but I understood why Jules took it that way because I think that he's like, yo, I'm about to get a good payout for returning this suitcase.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna live my life. I'm done with this shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because honestly, it's been a wild 2 days for him. You know what I'm saying?
No shit. Yeah,
So
like
I can
no
understand.
shit.
And then to close the shit out, you set it up greatly where they left you on a cliffhanger.
Mhm.
Come to find out, Jules and fucking Vincent was in the damn diner
During the fight,
while Honey Bunny and damn, I forget his name,
said pumpkin.
Pumpkin, sitting there having a whole conversation about robbing the diner. So they in there. Vincent happened to be in the bathroom, and damn,
Jules.
uh, Jules sitting at the table. So they're getting everybody's stuff, and he gets over to there. Jules gets out his wallet. He hands him the wallet, and he got his gun under the table. And he asked him for the suitcase. He was like, "Yo, I can't give you the suitcase." And so then he put a gun on him, and then Honey Bunny acted a fucking fool in there.
Absolutely.
And he had to kept telling. He was like, "Man, tell that bitch to hold.
That bitch be cool.
Tell that
He's
bitch be cool."
tell him, be cool, man. Be cool. Anybody cool that bitch down. That shit was fucking.
That shit was hilarious.
You
And
can only
so
get Samuel L. Jackson, bro.
he's the only person. Yo, when
Yeah.
we got something for y'all, and there's one where it's like nobody else.
Mm-mm.
We'll just leave it there. We'll just leave it there. Y'all will see when we get there. So anyway, so he's like, "Yo, reach in that bag, get my wallet out. Which one is your bag? Wallet? The one that say bad motherfucker."
Motherfucker. That was a nice switch.
It was. So he was like, "Look in there." He said, "How much money in there?" 1,500. He's like, "All right, look, 1,500 with the rest of the stuff you got in here. You made a good score." He said, "So if I was you, you just take 15 on top of the other shit that you got and just call it a day
Mm-hmm.
because this suitcase ain't mine and I gotta return it to somebody."
Right.
And so I thought that also was a part that kind of stood out as well because he stood on his principles. Because
Yeah.
his principles was this suitcase ain't mine. I gotta return the suitcase to my boss. I give you the $1,500 that's in my wallet, but you ain't getting this suitcase.
Hell no, not when I know I'm about to get a big pay. You can take that little funky ass $1,500.
Yeah, so man, that whole full circle, man, I
Yeah.
just don't think people understand just how fucking great this movie is.
Yeah.
This shit
Absolutely.
this shit is so crazy that is I honestly when it comes to Quentin Tarantino, man, as much as like I love the Kill Bill movies, this might be his number
I
one
think it's
movie.
his I think that it's his greatest for sure. Um and the reason I think that though is because like if you watch Quentin Tarantino movies, they usually have like a damn near all-star ensemble for a
Mhm.
cast. And the like some of the shit is like super extreme. Like when he shot Marvin in the face, right? Ain't no way his head exploding and doing all that shit. That was over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like when fucking Butch killed dude with the swords. That was over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. That ain't how you like. It's just it was certain shit, bro. That was just like, you know what I'm saying? Super exaggerated. But that's Quentin Tarantino. That's what he does. Like
Yeah.
his style is super exaggeration at some points. Um, and he explained why it's like that because he was talking about a lot of the stuff that he does is from black exploitation. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like he gets a lot of his style from, you know what I'm saying, black exploitation movies. And everything in black exploitation is fucking super exaggerated. Down to when niggas is doing karate and yelling "Hiya." That shit is super exaggerated. So yeah, it's rightfully so. But we got to get to Butch, bro. Butch fucked everything up. All he had to do was pretty much throw the fight. And instead of throwing the fight, he decided to go out there and beat the brakes off the motherfucker he was fighting. So much so that he kills the man in the ring. Now, we know that he cheats Marcellus, right? Because we seen the scene where Marcellus hands him the envelope and tells him, all you got to do is go down in the 5th round.
Mhm.
Makes him repeat it even. Well, he gets on the phone after the fight, calls his boy. This motherfucker done got 8 more bookies to fucking buy into the whole thing. So not only did he cheat Marcellus, he cheated 8 more motherfuckers. So now he on the run with his girl. You know what I'm saying? They hiding out in the hotel. And it gets to the point to where we start talking about their watch earlier. And he asks his girl about the watch. She like, man, I had to watch. They get into an argument about it. He start going crazy. He goes back to get the watch. In the midst of going back to get the watch, he goes in his apartment, gets the watch, thinks nobody's there. This motherfucker goes to make Pop-Tarts. He looks on the counter and sees a Uzi with a silencer on it. So now he knows somebody there. Vincent walks out the bathroom, looks up. He realizes who Vincent is. He don't say no words, don't ask no question, no nothing. Just shoot Vincent. Light him up. Vincent dead. He leave, drive off, stops at a red light. Who the fuck does he see? Fucking Marcellus. Runs Marcellus over. Gets hit by a car. They both out. Both wake up. Marcellus chasing them down the street with a gun. He done shot a random woman who was supposed to be helping Butch. So shoots the woman, chases him all the way to a pawn shop. And when they get to the pawn shop, he's basically about to get killed. He about to kill Marcellus. The man behind the counter pulls out a shotgun, tell him to drop it, and then he hits him with the butt of the shotgun, knocks them both out. They wake up. And this is where shit gets weird. They don't wake up just tied to a chair and they mouths duct tape. No. That'd be too normal. They get waking up by water sprayed on them, and they're tied to taped. I'm sorry, they duct taped the chairs with ball gags in their mouth. Now, I don't know how y'all do red flags, but that's a huge red flag for me. Why am I taped to a chair with a ball gag in my mouth? First off, where did you get these ball gags? Where have they been? You don't just put that type of shit in people's mouths. My man calls Zed the cop. Zed come down there. You know what I'm saying? He start talking about any, mini, miny, mo, and all this other shit. And then he tells this nigga go get the gimp. So when he says, he in the room, he unlocked the door. Now, mind you, I've only seen bits and pieces of this movie. I've never watched this movie the whole way through before recently.
Mhm.
I'm thinking this nigga, because he's moving chains and shit. So I'm thinking they got this nigga chained up in the room. No. They got this nigga boxed. This nigga is in a cage in a box in a full leather outfit from head to fucking toe. Hey, hey man. So, because this shit is wild to me, bro. Like you know I'm thinking of the oddest shit. So I'm like the whole time this nigga just in that box. That's some wild shit, bro. This nigga just in this outfit in that box or in that cage in that box the whole time, locked in the room. So he ain't no he. There's no chance of escape for this nigga. So he get the Gimp, bring the Gimp out there. Now he tells the Gimp to watch Butch because they taking Marcellus to the room. This nigga takes whatever he has tied around his neck and ties him to a fucking like pipe or whatever that's in the on the ceiling of the basement. What the fuck was this nigga going to do if this nigga got loose? Was my question. He can't go nowhere. He leashed the nigga. He on the leash. He can't go far. Nigga is done. Butch escaped. Wow, he a boxer. He punched this nigga in the face and knocks the nigga out. Nigga just hanging there by the leash off the pipe. Bush about to escape. Don't escape. Go back to decide. I'm gonna say this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he'll give me a break. Bust in, and Marcellin is getting cracked. And we already talked about
Getting
that.
cracked.
He was getting cracked. That's crazy. Um, and then Marcellus was like, you know, after he saved Marcellus, he basically told him, you know, you go free, get the fuck out the city tonight. You never had to worry about me again. And that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, the movie. Sheesh. I will say this though. What was her name? Dang, what was that girl name? What was Butch's girl's name?
Man, I have no idea what her name was.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Is
What
it
is her name?
Fabienne?
Yes, Fabienne. Oh my good. Hey man. Hey man. She had a body.
Body yaddy.
Yeah, she had a body on her, man. She wasn't the best looking, but she definitely had a body on her for sure. She had that dress on and she was laying down and like you could see like the accent. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't mad at that at all.
neither was I.
And you know what's crazy, bro? Uma Thurman. I get it. Like after seeing this, I get what everybody was like so hype about with Uma Thurman. She had a nice little sex appeal in this movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, it wasn't bad, man. I mean, not now. Now she nah. But like in this time,
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it. You know what I'm saying? She had rhythm and shit. She could dance and all that shit. And like, okay, then she had a little swag about her. I was like, yeah, I fuck with Uma Thurman in this movie, man. One thing I did want to talk about too, bro, is the soundtrack. Well, not the soundtrack, but the scoring of the film or whatever, like the music that they was adding in and shit. Yo, he did his thing with that shit. Whoever did that, they did their thing, bro.
He does it with every movie, man.
Because the music was amazing in this shit. Like if it fit the theme of this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't like none of the music that he was playing felt out of place.
Yeah.
And that shit was coming from everywhere.
Yeah. It was dope playing the Al Green in the club when Marcellus and Butch was
Mm-hmm.
talking. It just seemed like it fit, but like Quentin Tarantino, he does that with everything. Like I feel like all of the music that was played in both of the Kill Bill movies, all this shit fit like a glove. I think this shit in here, it fit like a glove. Jackie Brown, it did. Like
Yeah.
he just I think that's something else he don't get credit for is
Mm-hmm.
like the musical selections that he chooses to put. Like
Absolutely.
even in Death Proof, You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It was the great music selections in that movie as well. It don't be the regular shit that you hear,
right.
but you know what I'm saying? It's so nostalgic, and I think that's what it is because his movies are that way.
You know
So
what
yeah,
else? You know what else he did that shit with too? That a lot of people don't compliment him on, and probably because they just don't know the music. But Inglorious Bastards,
okay.
he definitely did the same. Like the when he was like playing like the music from overseas, and you know what I'm saying, like going back and playing the music of that time. Like he did an amazing job with that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Because like the one thing about the music in films, like it helps you feel what's going on in the movie, right? Like not only are you seeing it, but you hearing it as well too. So it's like it gives you the pace of what's going on. It gives you kind of it sometimes it could be a precursor to what's going on. Sometimes it can help you understand, you know what I'm saying, like the levity and shit. Sometimes it can help you understand like the heaviness of things. So like him doing that, I think that's another reason like his movies are so revered because it's like you not sitting there wondering like what why the fuck would they play this? Everything fits. Everything fits. No pun intended, like a glove. Like everything fits. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely fucked with the music in this movie, man.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
That's what's up. All right, man. So we got to get into it, man. Are you ready to do Fire Flames?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, man. So what you got?
Look, this is easy for me, man. This is five all day. Um, the cast, even though he had to fight with John, shit worked out. Shit worked out. Uma Thurman, you know what I'm saying, but he's also one of those people who, you know what I'm saying, you see Uma Thurman a lot. You see Samuel L. Jackson a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are two people that he used on top of multiple situations. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He even had a small cameo in fucking Kill Bill. Um, but yeah, man, the Bruce Willis, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just Tim Roth. Like there's just a lot of noticeable people in this movie.
Yeah.
And so the casting is great. The writing was on point with this movie. I love the way that he went back and forth with the storyline, but always found a way to circle that shit back
Right.
and put that full circle together. And I didn't think about it the way that you said it, man. And and that shit stuck with me, man. I gotta say it again when you said that they left the beginning of the movie on a cliffhanger,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and then you don't see that shit again until the last scene of the movie.
Right.
And that was just so dope to do that shit that way. So I'm sorry, man. I gotta go. I gotta go with five on this
Mm. Okay. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna have to match you with that one. I'm gonna have to go five. First and foremost, I know like because you had mentioned the dialogue. That's to me the best part of the film, right?
man.
The shit that they talking about has nothing to do with nothing. None of this shit has nothing. They not giving you no information that's really helping you about the movie. They not really saying like outside of and really I think like we find out that didn't really mean nothing. But outside of Marcellus throwing dude from the balcony or whatever out the window, that was the only thing that ended up connecting to something. But everything else was just these two going at it about nothing. You know, so like you said, like some Seinfeld shit. And then you know what I'm saying, like you see all of these different acts, and I think it's brilliant for him to show you this one part where they bust into this dude's apartment, they go get this suitcase, they leave out, and then next thing you know, they show up at the fucking bar in totally different clothes, and you like, the fuck? Why did they change clothes? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just some shit, and you know what I'm saying. Like it's a bunch of shit that you missed in between. But every time they going, you know what I'm saying. Like they making sure they going back and starting and showing you how this happened, but it's leading up to where you just left off at. So I think that was brilliant of him to kind of put it together like that. Um, and then the cast is amazing. The cast did a wonderful job. All stars in their own rights. And I mean, it's a Tarantino film. You know what I'm saying? It's meant for excitement. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to literally like keep you on the edge of your seat, and that's what this film does every time. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, like it, through and through. You can't miss it. So yeah, I really fucks with this, man. I'm gonna have to go 5 as well. Um, but let's go ahead and get into coming soon, bro.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right, so the next episode that we're doing is a appreciation episode. We are covering what's this nigga name? Is it
Ron
it ain't
Howard.
Archie. It's no, I'm talking about in the show. It ain't Archie Bunker. It's
Oh, you talking about when he was on the Andy Griffith show?
nah, I'm talking about when he was on Happy Days.
Oh, Happy Days. Oh, that's more your field there.
Fuck, what was his name? I don't know. We'll get into it on the episode, but we're gonna show appreciation, man, to the legend Ron Howard, man. A child star, grew into a teenage star, and pretty much all his life he's been an actor, and then ended up becoming a producer and director, writer, and he's done so much work in his long history career. He's given us a lot of work that I think that some people are going to be surprised that he was the person behind a lot of these films. So yeah, man, if you can brush up on your research with Ron Howard, do some reading on him. Go watch a couple of his movies. If you can find Happy Days, go check that out. Or if you want to watch Andy Griffith, go check that out. He was Opie in Andy Griffith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go watch that shit, man. Andy Griffith is a good show though. Go watch that. And you'll be surprised at some of the people he worked with too. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? I think that's gonna be something to shock you as well. So get ready for that episode. We giving flowers to the great Ron Howard, man. Um listen, if you enjoyed Pulp Fiction, or if you are of the small minority who didn't enjoy Pulp Fiction, or if you too was wondering that the whole time that Butch was in the back of the cab with Esmeralda, why the screen was black and white as they was driving off. Let us know. Did you realize that? Let us know, man. Hit us up and tell us, you know what I'm saying, about you
Man.
realizing that shit. I laughed like a motherfucker when I seen that, bro. When I was looking at the background, I'm realizing I'm like, okay, it's obvious this is a green screen thing, but niggas in black and white. It ain't even in color. You know what I'm saying? That shit was hilarious, man. Man, let us know how you feel about it, man. You can hit us up on Instagram at View and Nine Pod. You hit us up on Facebook with the VA Pod Watch Group. You can also, you know what I'm saying, check us out and put your comments down below on any of the videos. Well, hopefully on this video, on YouTube. Go check us out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like the videos, turn your notifications on because episodes drop 24 hours after. I'm sorry, yeah, the episode drops on YouTube 24 hours after it drops on the pod channels. So you can watch us, or if you want to just watch us the same time, make sure you follow us on Spotify, and you can get it there. And last but not least, check us out and subscribe to our podcast in the link in the descriptions of YouTube and whatever you're listening to this on or watching this on. It's only $2.99 a month. You can be a subscriber. You can get all our subscription episodes. Go ahead, man. Join up. Be a viewer for real. You know what I'm saying? Come on in and let us know you're a viewer. Um, But mainly, please make sure you're following us on Spotify, and please make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. That is definitely the move right now. And if you like to follow me personally, you can follow me on Twitter at Schools Bronson. I got a link tree in the bio. All my other places are there. Click them, follow me, show me some love.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That is just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. Last episode is episode 143, which is a plan for the mob. Um, very dope podcast, I would say myself. And that's all I got, man.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Your support is always greatly appreciated. And until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood,
That's a wrap.
Cut.